So about a week ago, I had this goal on the Secret social media page to gain 100 followers in 7 days. And of course on paper it sounds like a difficult task, but I had already been going with this page for 2.5 months. So realistically, gaining 100 followers for me wasn't difficult. I had the momentum going up and forward. So I gained the 100 and I did it in like a week. Actually it was less than a week, I did it in 5 days. I gained my 100 followers. Monday morning I was at 500 and something, Saturday morning 600 and something. It was an easy game. Now, what's the mistake I made in setting this goal? And no, it isn't the deadline, although you could consider that. That's not the one I'm on about. What I'm on about is I set this really minute, small goal that's really achievable for me. It wasn't a difficult task and a quest that I had to go out and conquer. It was just something that's sort of in arm's reach. All I had to do was stretch out a little bit further and grab it. I didn't even have to move from my seat. Now, imagine if I had set that goal to 1,000 followers. I would have been making 5 videos a day instead of just 1. I would have been blitzkrieging it. I would have been doing triple the work to try and make that a reality. And that's why I've done that for this week. I've decided to set a goal, maybe over the next fortnight, to get to 1,000 followers. Now, what is the difference in between the small goal I set and the big goal I set? But with the small goal, I'm not going to work as hard because I know it's achievable. So basically what I'm saying to you is set the biggest goals that you possibly can. Make sure your sight's going as far into the future as possible. Make sure you're looking so far ahead that it's basically impossible to, flex your little 100 followers. That's the mistake I made. I don't want you to make the same mistake. Or in other words, have the impossible visions that no one else has, that no one else believes in you, but yourself. You do. You're the only person who believes you can achieve those goals. Have the goals to the point where you don't even celebrate when you pass another plus 100. Oh, I passed 700, 800, 900. Only 100 away, let's go. That's what you're going to be thinking instead. And then once you get very close to the goal, set a new goal even further. Because otherwise, you'll achieve the goal and then you'll just give up. You'll just quit. For example, I got to Prestige Master on Call of Duty. Now I'm just going to quit. Why not aspire for level 1000? I hope that example actually makes sense to you. But my point is, look as far ahead in the future as possible, even then. Because the hunt is the most important part. And I'll explain it in an animal term for you. If I'm a lion and I go eat a gazelle, the hunt is the most important thing. Because otherwise I do not eat the gazelle and I don't get to eat that day, I'll be hungry and I'm less likely of living. But once I catch the gazelle, the hunt's over. I've now got less energy because I've got the food right there. I can just eat it whenever. I now have less desire to achieve anything. I just want to sit around now because I've done the hard work. I've caught the gazelle. Now I can just eat it throughout the day. What I'm saying is you constantly need the hunt. The thing that you're constantly pursuing and chasing. Because once that disappears, you're going to struggle finding a reason to wake up and go and achieve better goals. You need constantly better goals. And also, one last thing before I leave. The bigger goals you set, guess what? If you get 90% towards the humongous goal and then you can't anymore. Imagine if you set a goal at 50%. You would have just achieved it and stopped. Or in other words, if you set the highest goals possible, even if you, shoot low par, you're aiming for the top one. That means you're going to get the furthest out of anything else. If you're just aiming for par on golf, online, let's say golf it, then you're going to hit par. If you're aiming for the maximum score underneath to do your best, let's say you want to go 18 under, like a professional, you're going to do your best to get there. And even if you fall only 5 under, you're now 5 under what you would have been initially. Or in other words, hopefully this makes sense to you. If you set the largest goal possible, but you don't reach it, you're still going to be higher up the ladder, higher up the climb, the ascent towards the top of the mountain. Just because you set the peak in a week as your goal, rather than the peak in a month or halfway in a week. You're above halfway and it's taken you no time. So I hope you gained a valuable insight from this video. Take care, bro.